Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the Daleks Master Plan, which is a 12-part story in season 3 of Doctor Who. This story was insane. I thought it was great though. One of my favorite Hartnell ones so far, definitely. So, it's very different from a lot of Hartnell stories. Um, the, but also, the story is a little uneven because some of it's very lighthearted, funny, whimsical, campy, and some of it's like really dark and depressing and brutal. So I don't even know, like the vibe of the story is all over the place. Still a pretty good story though. This is 12 episodes long, so that was I think the longest story Doctor Who's ever done. If you count the um, season 23, The Trial of a Time Lord as one story, but it's kind of like I don't know if I do or not. It's kind of four small stories linked together. Um, while the Daleks Master Plan is a little bit more of a through line. Some elements of the story really work, some of it doesn't. You could tell that they didn't really think that far in advance. Katarina, for example. So she was supposed to be a permanent companion, but then they quickly realized it's hard to write for a character who lived almost 2,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago, however long Troy was, I don't know. She didn't even know what a door was, or stuff like that, you know? Um, so they killed her off pretty quickly. I think there was a lot of potential for her, the like mystical views she saw and everything. She thought the Doctor was like a god. I think they could have gone farther with that. Maybe taken creative liberties, or like she did have basic common sense, but I don't know. She got chucked out of an airlock, which she kind of did herself, but I think she did it to save the rest of them from that crazy man. Unknown actor Nicholas Courtney plays Brett, who we think is going to be a pretty big part of the story, and then he also dies. Um, which there's a theme of death in this story, which I think works very well. It shows that nobody is safe. Like anybody could die. I love stuff like that. It's one of the main reasons I like the seasons 2 and 3 of Torchwood, because they don't really play it safe. Too bad Nicholas Courtney never did anything else. He seemed pretty good, but I guess Doctor Who never asked him back. And then he's killed by Sarah Kingdom, who is probably the most interesting character in the story. She starts off kind of ruthless, law-abiding, authoritative, but she little realizes, maybe it's okay to question authority. Um, the Maverick Chen is cooperating with the Daleks, so he's not exactly trustworthy. That arc she goes through, and I like her dynamic with Steven and the Doctor, and I wish she stayed on longer, but the actors only wanted to do one story, so it ends in like the most gruesome way ever. She ages to death, like literally ages to a skeleton, like Julian Glover did in The Last Crusade. That was horrifying. Um, it was horrifying even with still photographs because you didn't even see it happen, but it still looked horrifying. Comes back to me as a child being afraid of The Last Crusade's ending. All those Indiana Jones had like one crazy scene in it that scared me when I was little. But yeah, like I said, the Daleks are the most threatening here because they actually seem like a threat. Them and the plan, the master plan, just destroy planets and stuff with the time destructor is good. Like that's a case where the MacGuffin is actually really interesting because you don't even find out what it does until like halfway through the story. It speeds up time, and I like how the Doctor's hinted to be like more than just a human because he's able to withstand the time destructor while Sarah isn't. Stephen though, he goes through a lot in his story. Like three of his friends died. His scene at the end where he talks about this is very emotional. Like this poor man. Though I feel like they didn't exactly reference Katerina that much after she died. They kind of just moved on, which I feel like if this was New Who, probably would have been talked about more if a companion died. Obviously, the story has to move forward, so they kind of drop it. Maverick Chen, okay, Maverick Chen, he's a very well written villain. I really liked him as played by Kevin Stoney. I did not like the decision to make him yellow face. I don't know why they did that because he's not exactly an ethnic stereotype, is just the white man in yellowface. So either A, cast a Chinese man as Maverick Chen, or B, keep Kevin Stoney but have him play a white guy, make him Mark Smith. I don't know. But alas, it was the 60s, so, you could acknowledge that things are kind of messed up, but still enjoy other parts of the story like I am. If I have one complaint about the story in a major way, it would be the Feast of Stephen, which is the famous Christmas special where Hartnell breaks character at the end of the episode. That was a cute scene. I like that scene, but the rest of the episode really feels like filler. I don't know, the kind of thought behind it was that nobody's going to be watching the show on Christmas Day, and if they will, they don't want to watch a very depressing story about the Daleks. So why can't they just skip a week? You know, like, do we really need 45 episodes a year? I don't think so. But if there's only one bad episode within a 12-part story, I think that's pretty good. The monk returns here for a few episodes. He's as charming as always, and he kind of brings some levity to this otherwise depressing story. Um, but I think it works. Him and Hartnell have really good chemistry, and I wish they brought him back more. But this is kind of the last we ever see of the monk, which seems like a horrible waste. Just like all of these characters dying was a horrible waste. So yeah, this one was kind of a downer. I didn't mind that 9 of the 12 episodes were missing because I think the reconstruction did a very good job of still keeping me engaged in the story. I can't tell if that's just because loose cannon's really good at what they do, or if just the story was so well written that, I was still into it. What did you guys think of the Daleks master plan? Did you like it as much as I do? Do you think it's a little long? Do you think it's overrated? Do you wish more of it existed? I wish more of it existed, but, we can't always get what we want, I guess. I'll see you guys next time. We'll be talking about the massacre on St. Bartholomew's Eve, and I don't really know much about that story, but I know it's also completely missing, so yay. Why did they delete those episodes anyway? How come so many Doctor Who episodes are missing, but like so many American shows have their entire catalog? Like how come every episode of Star Trek exists, but the Doctor Who from that period, like half of them are missing? I don't understand that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.